Blog Talk Radio.
Well, hello, good morning, and welcome, everybody. It is the 8th day of October, 2014, at 8 a.m. Eastern. How are you? This is Attitude of Gratitude that is live here every Wednesday at this time, and we also invite you to follow the program at blogtalkradio.com/perspectivepower. You'll receive updates and notifications about all the programs, as well as be able to find the archives. So if you miss a show, you can catch a show. We also are grateful to have along with us the wonderful, fabulous music of award-winning composer David Martinka. David Martinka's music is found two places, redbellymusic.com and sunshadows.net. And we do thank David for all the wonderful enthusiasm that he shares with us. It really is kind of cool to have David along. Absolutely. And it's great to have you along as well. As I said, Attitude of Gratitude live every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern here at Blog Talk Radio. Also find our fan page on Facebook, which would be facebook.com. Put the little slash in there and type in Perspective Power. All right. One of the things that I did this morning when I woke up was I walked outside to see the full moon. And it was supposed to be this beautiful, beautiful moon, and everybody was talking about, go see this moon, go see this moon. And honestly, I walked outside looking, and I could see stars, so it wasn't as cloudy as I thought it was going to be. But one of the things that I didn't find in all of this was that beautiful moon. I, honest to God, did not find it. And I sat there looking around, or stood there since I sat there, stood there looking around thinking, okay, where's the moon? Maybe it'll be over here. So I walked to one side of the driveway, and I thought, maybe it'll be over here. And I went to another side. And you got to understand, this is the 6 o'clock hour Eastern time in the morning, and I'm a woman in her jammies with a walker in a very dark driveway because none of our outside lights were on. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this is really beautiful out here. And I started to see the stars, and I noticed the sunrise on the horizon, the eastern horizon, and I thought, man, this is just gorgeous. Now, I've seen photos of the moon since then. A very good friend of mine, Valerie, who doesn't live but a mile from me, posted some gorgeous photos from about 9 hours ago. Just beautiful. I, however, did not see them. Yet it was worth an attitude of gratitude, right? Because I got to see the stars. I got some beautiful fresh air. I was able to really, really enjoy the sunrise, even though I didn't get to see the moon, which at the time I was out there, it was because I had just heard some friends who were on the radio say, get outside and look, we just got pictures, it's beautiful. But I didn't see it. And I could have been very, very disappointed that I didn't get to see the moon. And part of me was frustrated at first because I thought, well, gee, everybody's telling me it's out here. Where the heck is that moon? But it's all worth an attitude of gratitude. Seriously, it is all worth an attitude of gratitude. For a number of the reasons that I just stated, I got to see the stars. I took a little walk this morning. I got to see that beautiful sunrise as it was coming up in the eastern sky. So regardless of what the original plan was, regardless of what the original intent was for walking outside at that time of the morning, I got to spend some time enjoying something that I probably wouldn't have gotten to enjoy if I hadn't done what I did. And when I titled the program, It's All Worth an Attitude of Gratitude, that was the type of thing I was thinking about. You know, the situations that we set out to embrace in our lives. Maybe it's the grocery shopping trip. Maybe it's the concert that you're going to. Perhaps you're on your way out of town for a trip, and there's all of this pre-thought-out plan. That wasn't what I was going to say, but you know what I mean. You know, you've got this whole idea, the itinerary plan, especially the grocery stuff. I don't know about you, but I go to the grocery store, and in my mind I'm thinking, okay, I want this, and this, and I've got this much to spend, these items I want to get because I'm making these recipes when I get home. And, of course, if I want fresh parsnips, I'm not going to have them. Or if I'm looking for really good fresh ginger root, doggone it, all the ginger root looks like it's dried up and shriveled up. So my plans have to change. And I can either get stuck in how the plans are changing or the fact that they don't have the items that I want, Or I can say to myself, wow, this is really cool. They didn't have ginger root, but you know what else I noticed? They had delicata squash. Or they didn't have, which, by the way, you don't substitute one for the other. Ginger is an herb, and delicata squash is a squash. But the point I'm trying to make is there's always going to be something to be grateful for, regardless of the situation. And 9 times out of 10, if you've got, how do I want to phrase it, like recipes. I've got a bunch of recipes in my head, so if I go to the store and I don't find the very thing I'm looking for, but I find something else, maybe I can switch my plans. I can say, well, I've got everything at home to make this dish, even though I can't find the stuff to make that dish. Okay, great. Well, then I'm grateful that I can still find the stuff to make something, and I can leave the grocery store feeling pretty darn accomplished, and I walk out with an attitude of gratitude for what I do have and what I can do with what I've got. The old saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And then, of course, there's all the wonderful things floating around social media that say, if life gives you lemons, throw them back and say, hey, I ordered espresso, not lemonade. That's just putting a sense of humor and a bit of a spin on it. But I want to tell you, sometimes when you're thinking about something very serious, like maybe you were looking forward to seeing someone you hadn't seen in a long time, and they said, oh, yeah, I'm going to come by, or let's get together, and let's have lunch, or let's have dinner, and you end up somehow not being able to see that person, whatever the reason is. They got stuck in traffic. Maybe they had an emergency come up at their home. Maybe you had something come up, and you couldn't be where you needed to be. To have an attitude of gratitude, even about a situation that can't be easily remedied as a grocery trip that doesn't turn out correctly, can actually pay off in the long run. And because of that option, because of that thought, because of that opportunity to take a situation that was disappointing you or had the potential to disappoint you greatly and turn it into something you can be grateful for, is a wonderful, wonderful tool to have in your, I was going to say, arsenal of energy that you use to make your life what you want it to be, but tool wasn't exactly the word I was going to use. It's a skill. It's a skill, and it's an ability, and it's a talent. And we're all born, I really believe, with the ability to do that. It's the choice that we make. I believe we are all talented in regards to turning lemons into lemonade, but the skill with which we maneuver that comes from the practice. How many times have you had to do it? And someone says, gee, Annette, I got to practice being grateful for all this stuff. Does it ever just happen naturally? Sure it does. And sometimes it does. And sometimes we really have to sit there and have a little chitty-chat with ourselves and say, find that attitude of gratitude. So I can't promise you that every single time something happens, you're just going to bliss out in another direction. But I can promise you this, that you will have the choice to make, to turn that into an attitude of gratitude, to own that as an attitude of gratitude, because choice is always something that is ours. And when you've got that choice and you exercise that choice, you really do find out that it's all worth an attitude of gratitude. Not necessarily because you're going to be overjoyed at the situation, but because of the feeling you're going to get afterwards. It's really kind of funny. Feelings are so transient in many cases, like the birthday feeling. Hey, it's your birthday. Hey, here's a cake. Hey, here's a balloon. Here's a card. Woo-hoo-hoo. And then the minute everybody that was celebrating with you walks away, or you've eaten that last slice of cake, or you finished off the ice cream, or whatever, however birthdays are celebrated in your land of birthday, you've got to still carry on that feeling in order to have it. Somehow you've got to bring it to the forefront in order to continue it or experience it again. Well, let's say that feeling never happened for you. Let's say nobody remembers your birthday. And that's not uncommon in this day and age. There's a lot of people that I pass on a regular basis, when I run into them at the store or whatever, I'll say, hey, how you doing? Oh, no, I'm all right. My birthday was yesterday, but nobody remembered. Now, here's the funny thing. That person is holding on by choice to something that is giving them consternation. It is making them feel lesser than appreciated. They never developed an attitude of gratitude. about the fact that people didn't remember their birthday. Now, why should they develop an attitude of gratitude? Because nobody remembered their birthday? Well, it's not true that nobody remembered. They remembered. And it's worth the attitude of gratitude for you to remember your own birthday, or you to remember your own anniversary, or you to remember your own good thing that you've done or good thing that's happened to you. Why? Because in the long run, it's you that decides whether or not you're happy. It's you that decides whether or not something is good. So while it's wonderful and tremendous and amazing to have people fet you and celebrate you for whatever, you've gotten a new job, you just got a new car, you're pregnant, you just had your baby, your kid just went off to college, it's your birthday, whatever that thing is, it's your anniversary, it's great to have people honor that and acknowledge that. But in the long run, it's still worth it to have an attitude of gratitude whether they do or they don't, because it is something that's occurring and you know that. When you develop that attitude of gratitude, whether or not anybody else has joined you in that celebration, you have created that feeling that raises your vibration, keeps you in a good place, and raising your vibration actually influences and can raise the vibration of the entire world. And that alone makes it all worth an attitude of gratitude. Every single time you develop an attitude of gratitude for something in your life, even if it were things that you wouldn't think you should be grateful for, you are doing the universe a great service. You're doing your fellow man a great service. You're doing all of life that exists a great service because you're raising your vibration, you're getting it up into a higher level, and as a result, it's like holding your hand out and magically everything rises to come to your hand. Every time you raise that hand higher, you raise the journey higher. You raise the bar higher. You bring everything up. And in this world where we're all struggling to make this a difference, and in this world where we're all wishing for things to be better, not just for ourselves but for everybody, without throwing any money at it, without offering everybody a chance to come over and have dinner. I mean, how many people can you feed in your home anyway? Without putting anybody through college, they have all these wonderful scholarship funds and crowdfunding things for, children to go to school. You can still raise the bar by raising your vibration, and raising your vibration into an attitude of gratitude does that. So no matter what you're feeling and what you're feeling about what you're feeling, it is all worth an attitude of gratitude, because the idea is gratitude will bring peace. Gratitude will bring love. Gratitude will bring happiness. And you having that attitude of gratitude will be a peaceful, happy, loving thing for you. So it's all worth an attitude of gratitude. And I'd like to know how it's been worth an attitude of gratitude to you. Seriously. Follow this program here on Blog Talk Radio or on Facebook, which is where you can find us. Just put in facebook.com and put the little slash mark and write in Perspective Power, and you'll be able to connect that way. You can also find my Facebook page, Annette Rochelle Aben Communicates, and I talk about the shows, and we connect, and we share other people's shows. If you're doing a Blog Talk show, let me know what you're doing so I can help promote you and move you forward and move you through. If you type my name in on the search bar on Google, it's going to come up all over the place. Pinterest, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Google+, obviously Facebook, and also the brand new book that I just co-authored with 43 other wonderful women from around the world, Empowered Women of Social Media, is on Kindle. It is live. It is a #1 bestseller, so we do hope that you go pick it up. The book is 99 cents for all of you that are looking for it. So go for it. Download that book. Tell your friends about it. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. And the rest of the books that I write are also found on Amazon. Find me, Annette Rochelle Aben, Author Central, and it'll tell you what the other books are that I've written. And my website is AnnetteRochelleAben.wordpress.com. So I thank you so much for the time, the effort, and the energy that you have spent with me today. I also thank David Martinka, the award-winning artist, who has created this wonderful music for us. Find his music at redbellymusic.com and sunshadows.net. And this program is live every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern here at Blog Talk. This is an attitude of gratitude.